Hey everyone. This video is all about Canvas and using AI to make our lives a little bit easier. So this is for you power users of Canvas who are comfortable with quizzes and rubrics and also comfortable with using AI to generate some file types that we can bring right into Canvas. So if you are ready for that, buckle up, here we go. All right. Now, in Canvas, it's possible to import both quizzes and these rubrics, but you have to make sure of a couple things. First of all, you have to have access to classic quizzes. You can also use new quizzes, but the quizzes have to be imported into classic. So that's one thing to check. And also that your rubrics are the new enhanced rubrics are enabled because that allows you to import these really nicely. So you don't want to have the classic quiz creation disabled. You want to make sure you can do that and that you have this one enabled. So it's just some prerequisites here as we get started. But jumping over to ChatGPT, now this works with the free version, but you might run into limits if you try to generate too many of the files that we're going to generate at a time. In one case, we're going to generate a zip file, and in the other case, we're generating a CSV, like a spreadsheet file. So I have created a couple of prompts that I will make available to everybody via the YouTube comments and in our newsletter. So these two prompts are here, a quiz generator prompt and a rubric generator prompt. And the way that these work, you could customize the prompts themselves to tell it like what grade level you teach or what standards you teach, but the just out of the box, this will ask you all of the details for the assessment piece that you're making. So I'm going to copy this. I selected all and copied it. And I'm going to go over to ChatGPT and I'm just going to plop it in. And what this does is it's going to tell it, you are a Canvas QTI quiz builder. Your job is to draft some questions, get my approval, generate a QTI zip folder, and then give some instructions on how to use it if needed. Okay, so I'm just gonna I copied from my prompt and pasted it in, and it should ask me some clarifying questions about what I want to do right at this time. So it's asking me these questions, and I can sort of just skip over ones that I want. I'm gonna say it's 7th grade ecosystems. Now, you can put in a state standard or a chapter. You can upload a PDF or a screenshot of a resource that you want. All of those things would work as a way to describe what you want. But if I just put 7th grade ecosystems, it'll give me some questions. And so I've already answered the 7th grade. 3, I want 5 multiple choice questions. And then I'm going to answer, so are there any must include vocabulary? I'll skip that one. 5 title, I'll put like 7.1 ecosystems so that we can see what that looks like. And then, yes, let's do, I'm going to number my questions here. Yes. So notice I didn't answer all the questions and I didn't give it a whole lot of details because I'm trying to show quickly, but the more robust your details, the better product in terms of the questions you want, you'll get. Okay, so it's asking me for clarity. Number 4, no, and only multiple choice, yes. Okay. So here's a draft, and it's going to ask you to sort of approve these. So it's giving you option, and asking you which one is the correct, or telling you which one is the correct one. So you can update and change how this prompt ends up looking, and it might be a little different every time ChatGPT does it. But if those look good to you in terms of the question and each answer choice along with the correct one marked, you can go ahead and say, make the QTI. If you want to edit it, you would ask it to edit. I'm going to pause for just a second while it makes it. It might take a couple minutes. Okay, so I've got the file to download and I'm going to put it in my downloads folder. It says 7.1 Ecosystems QTI. All right, so I've saved that. Now I go over to my Canvas course. And starting at your home page, you're just going to click Import Existing Content. And then we're going to scroll all the way down and click QTI zip file. It's at the bottom of this list here. Now we're going to choose the file that we just downloaded, open it. Now we can put it in a question bank, but it doesn't need to be. And we're going to convert, and we're going to unclick the convert to new quizzes. You can migrate them to new quizzes after, and it works fine. But for some reason, it doesn't like doing the migration on import very cleanly. So we're going to add this to the import queue, and it will tell us its progress as it's running. And if it has issues, like you see here below, it will tell you like what the problem was. You might want to try it again. But now it's completed. So I'm going to go over to my quizzes and take a look at what we've got here. All right, now I have a quiz called 7.1 Ecosystems, and I can preview what the questions look like. All right, and there they are. So if I want to edit any of these, I can do that by clicking on them and then going in and looking. And notice here they've even got feedback for all of the incorrect answers. So that's really cool. And then if at any point you wanted to migrate this to a new quiz, if you're on your quizzes page, you can click your three dots, click migrate, and then it will create a new quiz. And you can add some of the more interesting file types. But this really works best just for multiple choice questions to start. You might be able to put some short answer in there as well, but I didn't design the prompt for that. So you could edit it for that. Okay, so that's quizzes, right? So we just took ChatGPT, we told it what to make, and we pulled in a quiz. Now we can deploy that to our students pretty readily. With rubrics. Now, rubrics have a new home with the enhanced rubrics. It looks a little different. And I've already done one, but I'm going to walk you through this really fast too. The import rubric button is here. So let's go over to the document where I had my prompt. The rubric generator is here. And I'm just going to click all of this, or select all, and copy it straight over into ChatGPT. And I'm going to just start a new chat for this. Again, I am copy pasting, and it will ask me what it needs to get started. So to build your rubric, I need the rubric name. Let's say Ecosystems Project. All right. And 7th grade. And I'm going to make this rubric. You can give more or less detail on this, but I'm going to make it a generic project that the kids would be able to, I would be able to use this rubric no matter what the kids chose to make. So I'm going to make it a generic project that could be like a video or a poster. There could be other things too, or a piece of writing. All right. And then it's also asking me how many criteria and performance levels. So the criteria are going to be the vertical columns on your rubric, and the performance levels are 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0, whatever you want for that. You just have to tell it. It defaults to 2 criteria and 4 performance levels. So I'll just say 4, and if you don't tell it anything, it'll just do those 2. 4. I just want 2 criteria and 4 levels. Okay, and so, yep, we'll say it's asking me here, do I want to add a 0.no evidence? Yes. So it's really 5 technically. It's asking me for clarity. Okay, so now it's giving me an overview of what it will tell, what it's going to put in the rubric. Okay, now one thing I'm going to tell it to do is not to put in the special characters. And the reason I'm doing that is just because it can be a little fiddly or a little, finicky, if you would, for putting those into a spreadsheet. So looks good. Now obviously it invented a presentation out of this, and the more detail you give it, the better off it will be. You could even, if you have a copy of one example, give it an example. You could upload it there and say, do it like this, and it can riff off of something that you have. So, but I'm going to, for testing purposes, just say, go ahead and generate the CSV. A CSV is a fancy name for the bones of a spreadsheet. And so we're going to ask it to give us these bones, and then we'll import it. There's a specific format that Canvas uses. And so I've already programmed it to do it according to this formula. So I'm going to download this CSV just like I did the other file. And so I save it here. I'm going to go over to Canvas, and right here on my rubrics page, I click import rubric. And the template is what shows you what the CSV should be looking like. We don't need that. We just need to pull in our file. So I click here, go find the file and open it up, and it will pull it in automatically. Now at this point, you can see it's called a draft. I have to edit this. You can open it up and look at it, but you need to click the 3 buttons and edit it. And the reason you need to edit is because it's a draft and you need to save it as the actual rubric. So it gave me my rating scale 43210, and it gave me all of my levels, and my 2 criteria are here. And so that's what it's going to look like. And so then I can save it. And then when I click on it here, it shows you what it will look like in SpeedGrader. And there you have it. So I hope this is helpful for some of you. Like I said, it can be something that takes a little practice working with ChatGPT about it. And sometimes ChatGPT will get it a little bit wrong. But if you're comfortable in those spaces, I highly encourage you to play around with these prompts, customize them for what you want and what might be useful to you. So I hope this is helpful. Thanks, and have a great day.